We're going to start off with a segment called How I Fell in Love with New Mexico. So let's start a little personal. You're both originally from out of state. I know, Kori, you were born in Artesia but spent most of your life in Oklahoma. Was there a specific moment when you realized, hey, I think I love it here. I think this is home. What made New Mexico click for you?
Live love, New Mexico, where dreams take flight. In this land of sunshine, our hearts ignite.
Welcome back, everyone, to Live Love New Mexico. I'm Samuel Anderson, the marketing director here at Venturi Realty Group. And this week, we're leaning into all the ways that make New Mexico special, from local eats to cultural roots to those this is the home moments. With me today are two people who not only know this place inside and out, they chose to stay here and plant roots and help others do the same. I'm joined today by Tracy Venturi, who is, of course, the host of our flagship podcast. And I'm also here with Kori Bristow. And so let's get right into it. We got a couple of podcast veterans here. So we're going to start off with a segment called How I Fell in Love with New Mexico. So let's start a little personal. You're both originally from out of state. I know, Kori, you were born in Artesia but spent most of your life in Oklahoma. Was there a specific moment when you realized, hey, I think I love it here. I think this is home. What made New Mexico click for you?
So I had been living in Oklahoma there goes my draw.
I was going to say, I hear that, Oklahoma. There it is. Yes, she is.
For about, 10 plus years. And I ended up moving to El Paso, and then I came here to Albuquerque. And when I got here, it felt like home. And the weather was so different than Artesia. And then once I experienced a full year, I knew I would never leave.
Cool. So
Yeah.
all about the climate and weather.
Oh,
And,
it's so good.
yeah.
And Tracy, what was the moment that led you here? Because I know you lived most of your life in Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah. So I moved to New Mexico to go to college at Eastern New Mexico University in Portales. Could not have picked a more polar opposite from Minnesota, where it's green and rolling hills and lakes, to the flat plains of Portales and cotton fields. But I think, I got my job out of college in Albuquerque, and it was just, this is like, oh my gosh, I'm never leaving New Mexico. I remember calling my mom a couple of months into moving to New Mexico, and I was crying. I'm like, oh, Mom. And she's like, oh my gosh, what's the matter? I'm like, it's sunny again today. I had no idea that Minnesota wasn't like as crystal clear and beautiful weather like we have here. But the people are so great. I just love New Mexico.
I do too. No tornadoes, no hurricanes, no hail. I mean, not real big hail.
Hail. I thought you
Hail.
said hail.
No, I did
Yeah.
not.
I don't think there's earthquakes either.
No. no.
There's like little tremors sometimes through the valley, but nothing we've ever felt. So,
I
yeah,
don't-
we have amazing, amazing weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you all bring up the weather, because that's kind of notoriously, from back to when this country started, that's been the draw of New Mexico, is the fresh air, and people have come here, for health reasons because of the air. But it's interesting that even today that's still the biggest draw to New Mexico. So,
Oh, that's right. That was the whole why people moved for what was the disease? Not the plague.
like tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, yeah, because it was dry here. Anyway, yeah.
Well, and just also the scenic views, the sunsets, of course, Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, all those great things that people talk about. It's not just a right turn at Albuquerque anymore. So, so let's get into a little bit more about New Mexico life. For a little something lighter, I want your guys' best "That's so New Mexico" story. You know the one, the moment where you smelled something, you experienced something, and thought, only here in New Mexico. Tracy, why don't you go first?
I was like, Kori looks like she's ready, but okay. That's so New Mexico. Everyone here knows fall in New Mexico, you smell green chili roasting. So going over to Wagner Farms in Corrales, there'll be all sorts of people buying pumpkins and squash and all the produce, but waiting for their green chili to be roasted. And the smell of it in the air, that is New Mexico. I have to mention one other thing. Old Town, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, whatever, smelling the pinon in the air.
Yes.
It's very New Mexico.
I love going to Santa Fe, and you just feel, it's just beautiful. The weather, the people, and the smells, and it's just, I don't know, it's lovely. But I was thinking something kind of funny, like the Roswell aliens.
Yeah, and
I know.
we've all driven through Roswell or been to Roswell, and the alien thing is
know.
embraced there everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right.
It cracks me up.
Yeah, right.
And also all the balloons. You know, we have so many
Oh,
balloons
balloon
that come
fiesta.
up October.
It's crazy, but they're year round here. We see them going up and people taking rides in balloons. We've also got Carlsbad Caverns, but from Albuquerque, it's about a 5-hour drive, but so worth it.
It's worth it.
And making that detour to White Sands
Oh,
and just playing in the white sand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. Sorry,
Love
we
New
diverted.
Mexico.
But I really
Mexico.
think green chili roasting is like
The smell.
Just they don't have that most other places.
no, you're right.
It's funny you say that because we were mentioning that earlier, that the one thing that could brand New Mexico is green chili, and the further
Yeah.
you get out from every direction of New Mexico, the green chili gets a little less hot and a little less flavorful. So
Yeah.
that's actually a perfect segue to our next segment, because I kind of want to talk about some historic and must visit places. So let's tap into that historic side. Kori, where would you send somebody to really feel the history and the roots of New Mexico? We're the heart of the Old West. So not just to take a photo, but just to understand all of the history of New Mexico. Where are you sending them?
Oh, that's a good question. I
was thinking Old Town Santa Fe, Old Town Albuquerque, the plaza in Santa Fe. There's
Yeah.
museums, there's vendors sitting on the sidewalk selling their handmade Indian jewelry. You can chat with them. Some of the things that I think really are special here is the different pueblos that we have. I think there's 18 pueblos, and I used to regularly go to a lot of them on their feast days, and all the other pueblos would be there selling whatever their craft was that they specialized in, because let's say you go to Acoma Pueblo, which is amazing. If you haven't been to Acoma, it's up on a top of a bluff. You have to take a bus tour now, but when I was there, it was like feast day, but the actual pueblo whose feast day it is doing dances, and they have other pueblos coming. But they don't sell their wares on their feast day, just the other pueblos that are there. They set up little booths and things. So I have amazing beaded jewelry and, different pottery. And, they're all unique in what they specialize in. So I would say that the pueblos are pretty amazing.
I didn't know this about you.
No.
I feel like I need to go on a tour.
You should probably come to my house and make me pull out all the jewelry that I have.
I would love that.
different feast days. I used to wear it a lot, but I haven't lately. Here I am right now with no necklace on. So,
Yeah, that would be fun.
yeah.
And then Tent Rocks.
Totally. Tent Rocks
It's
is
open
so
again,
special.
right?
It is by appointment, and it's Kasha. I wrote it down. I don't know how to say it, but the full name, Kasha Katuwe National Monument, Tent Rocks. Boy, it's those sandstone columns and monuments, and you can hike up to the top. You can bring a picnic with you.
I
Really
took my
great.
kids one year and they loved it.
Yeah, it's like less than an hour, or about an hour from Albuquerque, and it's like a
Absolutely.
different world.
So easy.
Yeah, totally awesome.
Interesting. And just to kind of cap that off, I also wanted to mention the historic Route 66 drive. Obviously, it goes through most of New Mexico, and when you drive that historic drive, you're getting ghost towns, you're getting shots from Hollywood movies. There's all sorts of history down Route 66. Anything to say about that?
Sam, when you're on 66, you have to play the song, Life is a Highway, I'm gonna ride it.
All night long. I know I can't
Yeah.
sing, but yes.
Yeah, and you stop in Gallup and the old hotel and have lunch there in the restaurant.
And it feels like the Cars as you're driving through.
Oh my gosh, yes, just
The
like
moving
it.
Cars,
So-
Pixar, yes.
But all the way through New Mexico on Route 66. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of history for sure. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, it really does feel like a time capsule. And that's actually a nice little segue to our next segment, which is we're going to call On a Budget, Free to $25 Fun. So I kind of want to talk to you all and let you play a little bit of tour guide, but on a budget. So say you have a friend coming in and they want a fun day without spending more than, say, $25. Where are some of the places you're going to?
So let me go first.
Okay, I can think of so many.
So Lainey Nash is a singer here in Albuquerque, and she is also the owner of Cross My Paws. And she plays in different places all over the city. And so I go on Facebook, find where she's at, and she's usually at some bar or something, but you can sit and just listen to her, and it's so beautiful. It fills your soul, and have a little beverage.
That sounds awesome.
It is.
That's great. I was thinking of things like get a picnic lunch, make a sandwich, and put a few drinks in a cooler and go up to the Jemez, sit along the river there, right?
So pretty.
So beautiful. Go to the top of the Sandia Mountain, have a hike and a picnic. I mean, that could be for less than $25, right? Even
For
with
a
gas.
family of 5.
Yeah, even with gas.
Absolutely.
So those
you're
things are
right.
great. But we've got a lot of amazing parks. You know, you can walk along the Rio Grande River. There's trails. It's like 35 miles of trails. You could rent a bike and go along the river on the paved path. So
Those
many
are
things.
fast.
I could probably do a whole segment on things to do for
In New
under,
Mexico?
Yeah, for under
And all
25.
the murals. Have you noticed how many murals we have?
We do
all
have
over
a
the
lot.
city.
Yeah. You bet you've taken pictures
I
of
have.
some.
I
Yeah,
have.
being a photographer like
Yeah.
you are.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and just to kind of add to that, can you tell us a little bit about the petroglyphs? Because you mentioned national parks, and that's actually one that's really, really close. Could you talk a little bit about that, both of you?
We have several, but Petroglyph National Monument, right here on the west side of Albuquerque, there's a hiking trail you can walk, and there's a guide with what the different petroglyphs that are inscribed in the stone as you take your walk. It's pretty awesome. I don't know.
Have you been anytime soon?
I haven't for probably 10 years, but I used to go with the kids a lot.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I always think it's going to be so hot. I think I need to plan it when it's a good, like either a spring day or a fall day, and wear a hat so I don't burn.
Yes, you do need to do that. You're delicate skinned. It's just right here, but you know,
Yeah.
like we've been to others, but you know, you don't have to make a whole day of it. You can just go and do an hour and see the
That's true.
petroglyphs.
It's like right by my house. It's like
I
5
know.
minutes.
I know it is.
I could do it like right now.
Go.
I should.
It's actually really amazing that we have so many historical things around us in the Albuquerque and New Mexico area that you can really take a weekend and explore. So, okay, I would like to hear your favorite story from somebody that you have shown either homes to or a friend that came to New Mexico for the first time. And I want you to tell me your favorite experience that you had via their experience, if that makes sense.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you go first. You have more.
I'm like kind of going, there's been a lot of people that came to New Mexico. And, you know, when I'm thinking about relocation, and what's interesting is I've had people say, I'm going to be in town for a week and we need to find a house while we're there, especially people relocating to in the Air Force, working on base. And they say, we're PCSing to Albuquerque and we need to find a home. We have this much time. And I say, great, we're going to find the first day, you're going to pick houses and you're going to tell me what looks interesting, right? And we're going to go and look. I might throw in a few extras, right? We're going to go look at 6 to 8 houses,
Right.
get you familiar with the area. And then on day 2, I typically tell them I get to pick the houses because I've seen what they like. I've seen what neighborhoods they're drawn to. And we usually find their perfect house on day 2. And I tell them ahead of time, make sure you plan time to do vacationing because we're going to have your house wrapped up really quickly. And if you have a whole week, you don't need it. You gotta go do sightseeing and enjoy things. So,
Oh, that's a good story.
yeah, it's
So-
so true.
My favorite would be I have some clients. They moved here from Missouri. They came here several years ago, and just they loved it. They loved the weather. Her parents lived in Tucumcari, so it was almost like they were coming back home. And we just visited back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they ended up finding a beautiful home, we together, in Placitas, and their whole entire life changed. And I'm so grateful that I could have be part of watching them navigate and helping them say, okay, you can go here for green chili, you can do this, you can, and hair, and there's so much when somebody new comes in, and now I have new friends.
Yeah. Well, and that's a much bigger story. I can see the
I
moisture
love-
in your eyes. So that's a much bigger story, and I know that was a huge thing for them. I
It
just got
was. I
goosebumps
know, that
thinking
was so
about it.
beautiful.
Yeah, and so you were a blessing to that family, and they found a great property, and you made sure they got the right one. So congrats to you. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's great. Those are a couple of stories that really showcase kind of how captivating New Mexico can be, because if you're not from here, you have no idea which parts are going to captivate you and which parts aren't.
You never know.
And looking online isn't the same as touring it. People don't realize how easy it is to get to familiar. Our streets are very north, south, east,
Yes.
west, and it's really easy.
And Tramway is different than Old Town, than Nob Hill, than,
Yeah.
downtown and west side, east side. There's so much to see. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great that you just mentioned that, because I want to wrap up this segment. I'm going to kind of put you again on the spot a little bit, but I'm going to answer first. We have amazing sunsets here in New Mexico, especially in Albuquerque. One would say that is a huge selling point. And so if you were going to take somebody to see a sunset, what's the spot that you would go to? I'll start first, and I'm going to say downtown Albuquerque, pretty much right by the freeway at around Lomas area, which is right where I live, ironically. The pyramids with the skyline and the sunset is one of the most amazing. I mean, I would say it rivals any other skyline, even though it's not as big as your bigger cities. Where are you guys taking people for a nice sunset?
Rio Rancho. You look up at that mountain and see the pink. It's beautiful. Just about every house in Rio Rancho, you can have great views.
So same thing I was thinking, Kori. It's actually the reverse sunset, sort of. People think that from the east looking west, like maybe the foothills of the Sandias, you'd want to go and
Right.
park up there and look towards the west. But actually being somewhere where you can see the west, but also the east as the Sandia Mountains turn pink from the sunset, sometimes you look and you go, oh, the mountains are pink. So you immediately like whip around to see what the sunset looks like, right? And so that way you get the best of both. So there's lots of places though, lots.
I love New
Absolutely.
Mexico.
And that's one of the things we kind of pound every episode with kind of inadvertently, is just that there's so many sights to see in New Mexico. And so if somebody's looking for great views, they can get them from pretty much anywhere, because
so
we
true.
have just so much around us. So let's go ahead and move on to our final segment, which is, of course, Around the 505. And because we've been talking about green chili, and because none of us have eaten lunch yet, we're all sitting here starving, and I want to know, where can we get the best green chili cheeseburger? Now, I've got a couple caveats. You can give me one suggestion for a fast food and one suggestion for a nice sit-in restaurant.
Well, I was going to say Blake's, just because everybody that comes into town is like, oh, I got to go to Blake's to get my first green chili, hamburger. But to sit down, it's almost like everywhere in the whole entire city.
Totally.
So good.
Yeah, even places like Pelicans has a great, which is seafood and steaks.
Yes.
They have a great green chili cheeseburger. Steelbender in the North Valley Brewery has a great green chili cheeseburger. But the Laguna Burger is also famous, probably as famous as Blake's, right?
It's true.
They have it way out in, out of town at the casino, but there's also some in-town locations now for Laguna Burger. But, I mean, do we have to limit it to cheeseburgers, because green chili cheeseburgers? Because, I mean, come on, where can we go to get the best, like, enchiladas or New Mexican food, right? What are your favorites, Kori?
So if I'm going fast, it's going to have to be, because if I'm, working in between, I do like a Casa Taco.
Oh, yeah.
There's one on Academy, and everyone that's in there is just really kind and sweet. And you go in there, and it's just
They have
good.
great tacos. They have one
Yes.
by your house now.
I know. But
Off of Montano and Course.
I know, but the one on Academy's the first one. I'm just a little.
They're actually from Elephant Butte. I think that's where they have their first one. Yeah.
They're doing a rooftop. Okay.
Who is?
The Casa Taco
On
on
Academy?
Academy. They're going to have a rooftop.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
I know.
All right. So that's sort of fast, but you can sit in.
Yeah.
So where, if you want to go have a margarita and a New Mexican meal?
El Pinto. How about you?
I love El Pinto. It's great for out-of-town people, but it's great
Yes.
year-round. They have a lot of outdoor spaces as well as indoor.
The ambiance.
It's always good, always
Margaritas.
fast. I mean, service has always been great.
Right.
Right. I know you and I went for lunch once and we shared a margarita, and that was
We
plenty.
did.
It was
We
good.
did. That was so
Yeah.
good.
But I mean, Sadie's is famous too. We have people who get to town that have, memories of Sadie's, and they're like, they can't get there fast enough, right?
so
Then
true.
there's Monroe's, which
Monroe's,
is
yep.
great. Several
Been here forever.
locations. There's so many places. So, but I'm sure we could do a whole segment just on
On
that.
food.
Yeah, just on food.
Food.
I'm a little shocked no one brought it up, so I'm just going to say it right here. The Frontier restaurant, obviously, on Central is a staple, and
And they're open late.
not necessarily for green chili cheeseburger, but a smothered green chili burrito is pretty close to that.
And not to mention the cinnamon roll.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, if we're not going to put green chili on it, although there might be some people who are going to put green chili on everything. We have green chili ice cream here. All right. Well, that was a great episode, everyone. We are wrapped up on the episode 6 of Live, Love, New Mexico. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping before we go. If you want to subscribe, if you find this content useful, go ahead and hit subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us also on Podbean and any of your other podcast channels. If you want to get a hold of us, you can contact us at 505-448-8888, or you can check us out online at welcomehomeabq.com. A big thanks to Tracy and Kori for sharing not just tips, but stories that remind us of this great place that has so much soul. Until next time, live well, love where you live, and we'll see you around New Mexico.
Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.